Well, boys, this is it. It's been fun. I mean, seriously, what an honor it has been. After Warhammer 40k Darktide, there are no more co-op games releasing for the rest of the year. I mean, am I supposed to get pumped for Art of the Rail? No. I just can't. So, I guess this is goodbye. Nah, I'm just kidding. What am I supposed to do? Go back to my day job as my personal fulfillment? What do I look like, a full-time YouTuber? Of course I'm pumped for all the co-op coming our way, because this, my friends, is the Co-op Monthly, where we talk about all the co-op games that came out last month, what co-op games are coming out in the next month, and any co-op news in between. That's right, it's the Co-op Monthly for November. Let's get started.
Andrew may be right, the year is pretty much over, but November isn't here to pull its punches. There's some good games that came out this month, so let's look at how they did, starting with Front Space. This is that retro twin-stick shooter we've mentioned a couple times here on the monthly. It's currently sitting with a mixed user score on Steam, with the majority of users saying that it's a bit clunky and maybe needed more development time. It did fare better with VGC, who gave it a 3 out of 5, saying this: Front Space doesn't bring a lot of new ideas to the table, but it succeeds where it needs to, delivering an entertaining twin-stick shooter. It won't change the world, but for the price, it'll give you a few fun evenings. We'll be streaming this one during our lunch stream soon if you're curious, so come see it for yourself. Another game that's made its way onto our lunch stream hour is Bravery Greed. It's currently sitting with a very positive user score on Steam, and we're inclined to agree with that, at least from our brief time with the game. The roguelike elements are really cool, and we particularly liked all the ways that you can customize your class. It received high marks from Game Grin, with them saying this: Bravery Greed is a retro-looking roguelite with great solo and multiplayer modes to check out with friends. Each run will be different, with different choices that will totally alter the focus of your run. Definitely hoping to dive back into this one very soon. Next up is the strong 2022 GOTY contender, Goat Simulator 3, or so I thought. Honestly, I thought this was about to get straight 10s, but it's currently sitting with a 72 open critic score, what the heck. The reviews are all over the place, with outlets like IGN giving it an 8 out of 10, while others like PC Gamer gave it a 5 out of 10. Almost everyone seems to agree though, this game is great in co-op. VG247 saying this: it's one of the best co-op games to sit back and reset with, and I mean that sounds awesome. This may not be the GOTY we thought it was, but you know what, it's still the GOAT for me. Okay, that was terrible, moving on. Here's one that kinda snuck up on us. Frozen Flame is a co-op survival game that launched onto early access on the 17th. It's currently sitting with a mixed user score on Steam, with most users saying that it's a bit too repetitive. God is a Geek gave some impressions saying this: Frozen Flame has some potential, the world is intriguing if currently a little empty, and with a few tweaks the combat could be a lot more fun. There's certainly nothing I actively dislike here, it's just not particularly new or fresh. Christian and I have been streaming this during our lunch hour, and I agree, I can see a lot of potential for this early access title. The Dark Bishops anthology games have really struggled to capture that Until Dawn magic, and it seems like this latest game, The Devil in Me, isn't here to break the curse. It's currently sitting with a 72 open critic score, with outlets like IGN giving it a 5 out of 10, while GameSpot was a lot more positive in calling it one of the best in the series. I think these games are very subjective to what you're looking for in horror, but after playing House of Ashes, I can confirm they're really fun in the co-op movie mode. I might get a group together for this one, maybe after it goes on sale. Speaking of curses, is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet the grand innovation we've wanted from the Pokemon series? Has Game Freak finally made our dreams come true? Well, if that 73 open critic score is any indication, not it sadly. Look, we've all seen the tweets. Tell me this game doesn't run on a science fair potato battery, what the heck? But despite that, there does seem to be an incredible Pokemon game underneath all the jank. Even if the co-op is just okay. After 30 hours, what's your take on it, bro?
Yo, what up nerds? It's your boy Andrew here with another 30-second review. What we have here is a classic diamond in the rough situation. Shout out to my boy Aladdin. I won't comment on performance because the rest of the internet has done that for me, so I will just say this. Best Pokemon story ever. Top-notch soundtrack. Open world design works wonders. I'm 100% hooked. Probably going to complete my Pokédex. I need help. Thank you for your time. I'll be in the lobby all week. Much love and good night.
Alright, thank you for that, bro. Not every game needs to be a giant leap forward though. Sometimes all you need is some dumb fun, and Evil West seems to deliver just that. With a 74 on OpenCritic, it seems like most outlets enjoy the game for what it is, even if it can be a bit repetitive. I really liked how Push Square put it. Evil West is one of those really enjoyable 7 out of 10s. It's never going to win any awards, and it's probably not going to stick long in the memory, but give it a few years and someone somewhere will swear to you that it's actually an underappreciated classic. I mean, that is a great write-up. If we weren't already stacked with games and holiday stuff, we'd probably jump into this, but for now, we'll have to save the Vampire Slaying for another day. Last two of the roundup here, and they're two of our most anticipated games this year. First up is Ship of Fools. Just gonna come out and say, this is a banger co-op game straight up. And it seems like most people agree with us as it's currently sitting at a 77 OpenCritic score. Should be higher, but it's fine. This is an awesome roguelike co-op game that we gave our highest marks to. Go check out our review if it piques your interest. God It's a Geek summed it up well by saying this: Ship of Fools is a fantastic co-op roguelike full of tense battles and tough decisions. Learning how to best all the enemies and what upgrades are best is exciting from start to finish, and the audio and visuals are top notch. Couldn't have said it better myself, but you should still go watch our review. And now for the last big co-op release of the year, Warhammer 40k Darktide is finally here. On the heels of their wildly successful Vermintide games, Fat Shark is bringing a whole lot more guns and some live service elements to spice things up with Darktide. As it's a live service game to a degree, major outlets are still in the middle of their review in progress as to our time of producing this video. But with a mostly user score on Steam, it does seem like most people agree this is an amazing game, but there's a lot of work to be done when it comes to optimizing and stability. We very much agree with that sentiment. It took us a minute to get all our settings together, but man, after that, yeah, this is already shaping up to be a co-op classic in the making.
Look, I've already picked on the December co-op game releases once, so I'm gonna keep it light here. At the end of the day, December and January have never been banger months for video games. Case in point, the most interesting new co-op game of December is New Joe and Mac Caveman Ninja. It's a 2-player side-scrolling platform game that is really just an HD remake of a classic arcade title. You'll be fighting against deadly dinosaurs and carnivorous plants to save all of Neanderthal kind. It's coming to all consoles presumably this month, but we're actually not even totally sure about that. December, can you please get it together? Okay, so New Joe and Mac is really just a remaster and might not even come out this month. That's okay, we can do this. Let's throw Art of the Rail into the ring. Sorry for that dig earlier, my friend. It's a 16-player online transport tycoon game. There's not really much more to say here, it's basically all in the name. One cool note is that you can play either cooperatively or competitively with either a hosted game or a dedicated server, meaning you can just play with your friends or like come into a game and play while someone else is away. They claim the game has been built from the ground up for multiplayer, a really nice touch. Obviously this is going to be a small niche, but hopefully it gives you railheads everything you've ever wanted. Our next few games are all PC games that are just now making their way towards consoles, starting with Terror of Hemasaurus. I love the look of this, and apparently the people love it too, with a very positive 98% on Steam, which is an awesome mark for a little game like this. It's a retro arcadey smash 'em up with you and your friends play as monsters and cause as much destruction and havoc as possible. This seems like one of those classic boys' night games, and I'm down for that. It comes to consoles early this month. Remember when you were in first grade and you had to decide on what you'd be when you grow up? And for some reason, we all wanted to be firefighters. Well, your dream doesn't have to die with Firefighter Simulator, The Squad, coming to consoles early this month. Again, don't feel like I need to explain this one, but you and a squad of 4 friends can do what firefighters do. Save lives and knock up wives. Wait, what? As a team, you'll decide on different roles for each member, and there are several complex physics systems at play to keep you busy. Again, this already is on Steam and has an 81% very positive user review score, so enjoy it early this month on consoles. Jitsu Squad is our final game we want to mention that we actually did mention earlier in the year when it was released on PC in March. Steam users have it at a 90% very positive, once again boding well for us inferior console babies. It's a 4-player co-op tag team beat 'em up with fast-paced character-based combat. Looks like a lot of fun and draws inspiration from some interesting places like Marvel vs. Capcom and Super Smash Bros. Definitely one to keep an eye on, again, early this month.
It's time for our news block of the month, and I have the pleasure of catching you up on any game updates, while Andrew will fill us in on any new delays or announcements in just a bit. Let's start off with the news of Back 4 Blood's upcoming DLC, River of Blood. Not the most original title, guys. After playing the last two DLC, we're pretty stoked for this one when it rolls out on December 6th. This third expansion will feature a brand new campaign and 5 new maps. There's also a new cleaner named Tala, who seems to have a friendly tallboy zombie called Jeff as her companion, which sounds awesome. After how memorable the last cleaner edition was, we have high hopes for Tala and Jeff. If you enjoyed Escape Academy, its new DLC, which launched earlier this month, might be the perfect excuse for you to dive back in. We enjoyed the game ourselves, even if we didn't do a formal review on it. The general sentiment seems to be that Escape from Anti-Escape Island, yes, that's the real name, is far more difficult than the base game. It's the first of 3 planned DLCs, so fans of the game have a lot to look forward to. Keeping the DLC train going, Dying Light 2 received its first DLC this month as well. The first DLC in a 5-year plan to support the game didn't sadly start on the right footing though. Even though the Bloody Ties DLC will only set you back $10, most people are very underwhelmed with its light story content, and it looks like it just amounts to some lackluster side content. Hopefully the next DLC is more substantial than that. We're in the middle of our review of the base game actually, so stay tuned for our thoughts on it very soon. Broforce is back, baby. Alright, so story time. Back in college, I used to waste hours upon hours playing Broforce with Jake and other college friends. It's this crazy arcade co-op game where every character is an epic action hero like Blade, Braveheart, or Rambo. But it came out like 8 years ago, so why are we talking about this in 2022? Well, it looks like Devolver Digital is teasing a huge update to the game called Broforce Forever. Only details floating around are Devolver simply stating this: Broforce Forever will feature new bros, new missions, and most importantly of all, new freedoms. I, for one, cannot wait for that.
Everybody stop what you're doing and go watch the official gameplay reveal trailer for Blight Survival. This right here has Gabe and I written all over it. A 4-player co-op action horror roguelite set in an alternate 14th century where, you guessed it, there are zombies. The trailer is mostly in single player, but ends with a look at a very seamless co-op experience, and it has us significantly hyped. This was a small indie project, but looks anything but. It'll be a minute until we probably talk about this again, because it has no release window, but trust me, this isn't the last we see of this one. Quick update from the rumor mill that Diablo 4 is looking like it might be slated for April of 2023, according to reporting by both Xbox Era and Windows Central. They also claim the marketing push for the title will begin at the Game Awards in the next week. This is all fine and good, we're excited for this title, and we know not everyone is because of Diablo Immortal and scandals and monetization and the whole thing. Hopefully Blizzard bucks all those trends and can pull Diablo 4 off. During the Indie World Showcase, we got a February release date for Blanc, a charming-looking indie where you play as Fawn and Wolf Club, the spiritual successor to Fox and the Hound. We love the look of this, are totally down, but really guys, February 2023, the official busiest gaming release month of the century, a official Co-op Bros sealed guarantee? Time to hand in my 2 weeks notice. Outer Terror is an arcade bullet hell homage to B-movie horror, and it hits PC soon, according to Game Informer's Wesley LeBlanc. In the game, you'll choose from 10 survivors, each with unique weapons and abilities, as you make your way through 5 unique chapters. It's got hardcore Vampire Survivor vibes, but with 2 players, so seems like an easy win. Outer Terror could be out any day now, as it's coming soon, and apparently this year, although we're kinda running low on time for that to happen. Superfuse got an early access date reveal trailer for January 31st, and I like what we saw here. It's very Diablo-like as a co-op action RPG with loot and in-depth skill trees, but it's set in space. Looks like something worth giving a go, so keep up to date on their Discord channel to see if you can get in early. Ever heard of Starship Troopers? 1997 film starring Casper Van Dyne, Dinah Meyer, Denise Richards, and yes, I'm pretty sure that is Neil Patrick Harris. What is this movie? Anyways, it's getting a game set in the universe that'll be 12 players in co-op, pretty cool. It's an FPS with 3 playable classes, a class progression system, and a few more early development type features that I realized while typing, probably not worth mentioning yet. Still a good bit far away from this considering it hits Steam in early access next year, so just keep this title in the back of your heads.
Thanks for watching this edition of the Co-op Monthly. If you want to support us, please consider subscribing or following us on our socials for more co-op content. We're even on TikTok now, so go follow us on that. You can also check out our new merch store. We just launched our retro-inspired collection, including some cool tees, a tote bag, and even some stickers. You can find the link for all of that down below. As the year is winding down, we have lots of great content coming for you soon. We're streaming Warhammer 40k Darktide right now, and we have a really fun Game of the Year stream coming really soon, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks again, we'll catch you next time on another episode of The Co-op Bros.